Well, today we're going to take the car back to its old stomping grounds, to the place where it lived from 1972 roughly up until 2008 or something. I don't remember the exact date. I did a history of the car video that I'll link below if you want to see the actual details I know about the owners of this car and where it came from. But ultimately, I'm going to be going down to Preston, Maryland, which is where this car originally resided. And we're going to find the home of the previous owner that had it the longest, not the one before me, where she also worked, which is a short distance away, and hopefully also where she's buried in the cemetery, because she's, of course, deceased. So that's going to be our trip today, and we're going to pack up the car and head on out. All right, we filled up for the first time, and we've got 127 miles to get there. And we don't have a spare tire. And when I filled it, it vomited gas all over me, so now my sleeve smells like 87 octane. So I'll have to enjoy that for the rest of the trip. Yeah. I stopped in Cecilton to get gas. I'm about an hour away. The problem with Eastern Shore of Maryland is sometimes the gas stations can be pretty few and far between, so I thought I'd top up here. It's getting way better gas mileage than it used to, so whatever I did fixed the problem there, I believe. I'm going to check the mileage, of course, later on. But I was just getting ready to leave here, and interesting vehicle parked next to me. Looks like about a 67 or 8 C20 four-wheel drive. Nice original patina on that. Healthy V8 with a bit of a cam. I dig it. Even though it's a Chevy, it's cool. Alright, so here we are at Preston Ford's current location. I gotta get out of the road, I'm standing in it. This is the dealership that I believe sold this car to Lena's church, who then donated it to her. But this location is obviously new. I'll show you the actual location in town of where it used to be before. But they probably actually sold this car new as well, because this area, I mean, there's like no other car dealerships around, so being that Preston's a small town, I bet the car was sold new there and then traded in 1972, I believe it was, probably on a Pinto or a Maverick or something, and wound up in Lena's care. So anyway, here we are, Preston Ford, not in Preston, but in Denton, Maryland. So the original Preston Ford building in town here burned down back in the 70s or 80s. I think it was the 80s. And so they built this new office building here. There's still some shop here. I don't know if this is new or not, but pretty much figure this is where the car was probably sold. Okay, we are just outside of Preston, Maryland. I've turned onto the road where the home of the car is located. Now, I am not sure if anybody's home here, obviously. obviously, and it's a private residence, so I don't want to really freak people out by, you know, cruising past the house 100 times if somebody's home. But we'll take a rolling shot of it and then see what the situation looks like. I'll try to snap a couple of still shots there and yeah, let's see what it's like. Because people that live there now have no idea about this car probably or anything. So here we go, 1 minute away. That's a little anticlimactic. I thought it was an older house. Apparently that's looks like a double wide that's probably been there maybe since the 80s or 90s, so I doubt it's the original property. Probably not where this car originally lived earlier with its life in Atlanta, but that's the last address that she had. So we're gonna go from that location to her work location, which is only a drive of 4 miles. And see where this car spent its days. We'll do that next. So this is it. This is where Aunt Lena worked as a vegetable packer. Right here's the building. And the car probably would have been parked here or out there behind the building. And this dirt is definitely what has filled up the frame rails of this car that I keep blowing out with air. But this is where she worked till she was in her early 90s. It's actually only a mile from her house. I was wrong. It's a 4-minute drive. Got somebody here working on a Sunday, but there we go. Aunt Lena's workplace. So yeah, the house, taking a picture there I didn't do. I didn't see anybody outside, and I'm not enough of an extrovert to go up and ring the doorbell on a Sunday morning or a total stranger with the request to take a picture of a car in a driveway. And the car's so rumbly that I'm sure if I had stopped outside the house, they would have noticed that it was there because there were people home. I drove up and down the road a couple of times to get some video, but the same guy mowing his lawn waved at me 3 times, so I thought I better probably knock it off and get the hell out of there before they call the cops on me. This area is just, it seems like it's a, you know, people probably keep to themselves, and, you know, strangers doing what I'm doing are probably odd. Going to the vegetable packing plant, that wasn't as bad. I mean, there was a guy working there, but he looked like he was a migrant, so he didn't care. He kind of glanced at me, and that was it. He never said a word. So I got some pictures and video there, but yeah, I just thought I don't want to intrude on other people that have nothing to do with this car or this story. So that's all you get is the drive-by shots. More to come. Okay, here we are on the other end of Preston at the Junior Order Cemetery. So we're going to try to find Aunt Lena, see where she might be, and give her car keys back to her. Stay tuned, see if we can find her. All right, found it. Took a little work. It's interesting that her maiden name was Worm, believe it or not, last name, and this cemetery is full of people named Worm. So obviously a local name, but she married Carl Salak, and this is Aunt Lena. So she passed away in 2003, and after that I think her car sat for about 10 years. So we reunited the keys with Aunt Lena. I'm a big fan of going through graveyards and looking for veterans, and it's interesting that Carl, her husband, was a soldier in World War I. This is pretty cool. Thank you for your service, Carl. So as I walk back to my car, thinking about Aunt Lena there. So she lived a mile from where she worked, at least at her last residence, which I believe is a rental. Obviously from her maiden name, her family is from this area. So town's like 3-4 miles from her house. So I think it's safe to say that Aunt Lena never strayed far from home, like probably didn't leave the county hardly ever, if ever. That generation, that's kind of a thing, because my grandmother was the same way. She, once she retired, she stayed at her house. She didn't go hardly anywhere. I mean, we took her on a couple of vacations with us out of state and tried to take her other places. And so, would you like to go to, you know, New England to see things? My grandmother's response was, why would I want to do that? She didn't see the wisdom or appeal of traveling anywhere other than where she was from and where she was familiar, and she spent her entire life within the county where she lived in and grew up in. So different perspective, I guess, from that generation. I mean, they didn't have cars that could take them far, far away when they were young. You know, there was Model Ts and maybe Model As, and the roads were barely paved, if that. Especially down here, I doubt they were. So, just kind of odd. Her car's traveled farther than she has, and it's only a state away. You know, three hours away now. But anyway, just a thought. Sad or just a thing? I don't know. I've traveled quite a bit. I enjoy it. I'm gonna drive past there with the car. Right there. Bye, Aunt Lena. Thanks for the car. Okay, safely back in the garage, same day, and ran pretty much flawlessly. No complaints at all. Visited all the places that we wanted to. I actually stopped at an antique mall too to see if I could find anything from the local Ford dealer there that might have been old, like a license plate frame or a key fob or something. Didn't find anything. And then came back home again. And if I calculated my fuel correctly, I'm getting about 12 miles to the gallon, which still to me seems too low for this thing. I don't know why it's that low. I think it should be more like 15. I guess this engine's just thirsty with those big valve heads on there or something. But anyway, it's getting 12. So it's better than the 10 it was getting before. So I have made an improvement on it. Anyway, that's the trip. Hope you enjoyed going along on it, and thanks for riding along. We'll see you in the next one. If this is the first time you visited the channel, be sure to check out the other videos in this car. There's a whole series of them from bringing it back from the dead. And as I said, there's also the one on the history of the car, which I will link below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.